Hello and welcome to Lakeshore Academy. My name is Tina and I'm glad that you're with me today. Let's talk about this subject. Are you using a curriculum that's not working? Now, many of us have curriculum that we have been using or trying out, and we started a school year. It depends on where you are. Some people start in August, some start in September. I have even heard of some homeschoolers who start their school year in July. But wherever your starting point was at this year, we all chose a certain curriculum or certain things that we would like to use for this school year. But what happens, right now we're in the mid part of the year for the school year. But what happens if you're using a curriculum and you are not getting the desired progress that you thought you was going to get when you thought this curriculum was like the best thing ever? And also you've been looking and seeing different curriculum, and you decide to buy another curriculum on something, but you're a little afraid to like cross over, so to speak, meaning changing your curriculum during the school year to another curriculum. So say you're already using the curriculum, it's not working, you already bought another curriculum that you would like to try maybe the next school year, but you could try it this year. What should you do? Now, of course, this is each homeschool educator's own personal decision whether they'll drop that curriculum that's not working and start a new one within that same school year, or whether or not they're just going to keep working something that's not working. Now, I have been in this situation before, so that's why I decided to do this video. I was using the curriculum for world history, history in general, and it really wasn't working for me. And I was trying to make it work. Oh, I tried to make it work, but another homeschool mom sent me Story of the World. At first, I was like, I'm just gonna like modify what I'm doing with this curriculum that I'm already working with. I'm just gonna modify it. But then when I start looking into the table of contents, I'm seeing that history is history. It doesn't matter. They go over, when you have different history books, it goes over the same thing over and over, because what happened in 1862 still happened in 1862, whether or not it's in this curriculum or that curriculum. The only difference between the curriculums that's talking about history is the way that they deliver the information. Now, I must say, from personal experience, it was very hard and daunting to switch within the middle of the school year on something, even though it wasn't working, because I'm a person that'll modify stuff, which I do quite frequently. But I decided to go ahead and start Story of the World with my kids from the beginning. Well, no, I started from a chapter that we was already doing in the other book. We was talking about Greece, so I started from Greece in Story of the World, and then I went back to the beginning. And I tell you what, you guys, that has been one of the best decisions I have ever made. Now, I still supplement Story of the World with other things. Like, I have different activities, because another homeschool mom gave me or bought for us an activity book in which you actually help the kids to understand what happened during that time. They actually act out and have different things that they do, hands-on activities. So I use that along with Story of the World. And I also have the Story of the World activity book, so it has different activities inside of it as well. So I use both. But it has been the best decision. I really like the way Story of the World, because we have the audio books, I really like the way Story of the World tells the story from a classical perspective, meaning it's almost as if your grandmother or your grandpa is sitting in front of a roaring fireplace and they're just telling you a story. And if you have ever experienced hearing your older family members tell stories about how they grew up, or things that they had to endure, things that they went through as a child, just telling childhood memories or stories, you know that feel of how they tell the stories and how it comes to life. Well, that's my personal description of how I compare Story of the World. Story of the World, the way that they tell the story, it's almost as if, even though that has nothing to do with what you went through or your life at that point, and you wasn't there, but the way they tell the story, it makes you almost feel like you were there. And his voice when he reads to you on the audiobook is a very, he has a very tranquil, firm, relaxing voice. So it's very, very nice, and it's very easy to understand from the audiobook. Of course, the book reads very well as well, but like I said in the previous video, my son has autism and he has dyslexia, so he's more of a visual learner. And my daughter, I'm just trying to, because she reads like nobody's business, but I'm really trying to help her to hear different perspective, hear how different people read, and reading comprehension and all that, which she does very well on anyway. But I'm just helping her to work on both, reading along with audiobooks. But my son, he does both as well. So, but I really just love the way Story of the World, we all just sit down and listen to it together, and then I have a discussion with them after we listen to Story of the World. So that was just giving you an example of how you can switch out a curriculum. It's not that difficult. So say, for example, you are doing math and you find out that the curriculum that you're using is not working, and you already purchased another curriculum, but you say, oh, we're going to start new next year fresh. We're just going to keep on working through this. It's very easy for you to switch out and start that new curriculum that you purchased right now by just simply whatever concept or thing that you was working on in the curriculum that's not working for you, you just start from that point within that new curriculum. You can easily introduce that to it. So if you're working on multiplication tables, multiplication tables, for example, or fractions, you just start in that new curriculum from that point in the book, fractions. And then if you feel comfortable with going back to the beginning and then starting from the beginning after that, you can. If you don't, you can keep on moving, because if your child already understood everything from that point on, and they was in fractions, but then they stopped understanding it, then it's no really a need to go back to recover or do what they already mastered. So I just want to give y'all some little encouragement on what to do if a curriculum is not working. And you don't have to feel bad about it. You can just keep it moving and try something new. It's nothing wrong with switching, and there's nothing wrong with switching within that same school year. Because ultimately, we want to have the best, we want our children to have the best education, and we want them to be able to understand and enjoy learning at the same time. So if that's possible for you to be able to switch during the middle of the year, it's very easy to do so. It's nothing wrong with it. If you can't switch, then try to find different outsources, references, free resources that you can use to try to lighten up or make something that's not working, try to make it work. Okay, well, this is Tina with Lakeshore Academy. Have a good day. Bye.